Hi, I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner. Today we're going to talk about passports for youth and new media coming to St. Louis. Come on back. Of City Corner, we're going to be talking with some great people who are part of an awesome organization here in the St. Louis area that have done some really good things with reference to the arts, working in the community. But specifically today, we're going to be talking about youth and how important they are and some of the great things Better Family Life has been doing with the organization. With me in the studio are Vivian Watt, who is the after-school artistic coordinator for Better Family Life. You go, girl. You go. You have just seen you do some wonderful things here in the St. Louis area over the years with Black Rep and everybody else in your dance. And I love that. And Miss Miranda Jones, who's Vice President of Youth and Family Services for Better Family Life. Now, Better Family Life is just, wow.
We are growing.
A lot of good things are happening with the organization. Now we're working with young people in the arts. I mean, I think it's fantastic. Now, you working with young people from a clinical perspective, helping them with psychology. Talk with us a little bit.
We have actually 12 different programs that we do in the youth department with youth and families in St. Louis. So we range from workforce programs where we deal with kids that are 19 through 21, trying to get them credentials and work programs. We also deal with the clinical services, as you mentioned. We do a lot. We are doing programs in the Ferguson area to help with the emergency situations that have happened there. We have several after-school programs. We do 21st Century program in all the Normandy schools and as well as our schools in the St. Louis area, which Vivian will go into detail about. We also have an awesome teen pregnancy prevention program. We're in 22 schools from East St. Louis all the way out to North County, really talking about teen pregnancy prevention and all the things that come along with making those kind of life decisions. And then we have mentoring programs. We're dealing with kids that are coming out of the juvenile system, trying to get them reintegrated into everyday life. So we run the gamut on what we do with our programs, and we try to make them holistic, making sure if we touch a kid, we're touching their family.
As well, yeah.
That we're putting them through all of the programs that Better Family Life offers.
It's just not right, or it's not really done well if you're not talking to mom and dad at home, or uncle, or auntie, or grandma, for example, to find out exactly what's happening before, you know, you let that kid go and let them go on home and everything, because there's stuff there that they bring to the organization. Now, Vivian, you've been working in the arts. Tell us, what are you doing over there?
Tell my age, Robin.
No, I'm not telling your age. Did I say anything about her age? No, I did not, sister. Okay. Really? Come on. You've been doing some wonderful thing in the arts for many, many years here, and it's been awesome. And I became acquainted with you again after returning here to St. Louis through Jatana, which I'm a board member on, and you were working with our babies there.
Yes.
Now you're with BF. Tell us, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm with Better Family Life, and of course we have the youth department. One of the things that we've done is we are a licensed Missouri after-school program.
Oh.
So at the new site, which is the Emerson School Building at 5415 Page, we now have an after-school program that includes the performing arts. So when we talk about programming, man, we have it going on. We pick those kids up, we feed them, then they go into their ancillary courses, which are performance arts and computer literacy.
You pick them up from schools or from their homes?
We pick them up from their schools.
Okay.
We pick them up from their schools. If they are in our vicinity and we have them on those routes, we pick them up, we bring them there, we feed them. They do percussion. We're talking djembe drumming, West African drumming.
And we have some video of some of the things you've done with the kids. I'd like for Jay back in the control room to roll that so we can kind of see a little bit of what you've been able to do with our young people. And I think it's just fantastic. Are they really getting into what it is you're doing? Is this something that you think that they'll take and move on with life?
Robin, they performed down in Tantera. They have performed for the pre-shows for the Muni. They have performed last weekend. They did a Black History program for BASIC, which is the Black Alcohol and Substance Intervention Center, and they did that and were so awesome. We're talking about people standing up and handing them money.
Wow.
Okay, because
Wow.
we're talking theater, dance, drumming, computer literacy, ATOD, which is alcohol, tobacco, other drugs. Our program is soccer. You name it, we're trying to give them exposure. Chess, they have a chess club within the company, actually within the program that extends into our summer camp.
Wow.
Tournaments. So, I mean, it's so much we could talk about. When you're looking at our kids right now and they're performing, they are doing a Black History program in our Normandy School District.
Okay, very
in the
good.
Normandy School District.
Great, very good. So the programs that you oversee are running from 3 p.m. generally to 6 p.m. in the evening. That time after school,
Yes.
when young people tend to get in trouble, is well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Most dangerous time for kids
Yeah.
in our, in the after school, from 3 to 6 o'clock when they're unsupervised, between the time the parents get home and they get out of school.
are you all actually seeing a difference or something happening or changing in the St. Louis area with our youth? I most recently came across a study that was done by the Washington University School of Social Work, Brown School of Social Work, that was published in May 2014. And it's dealing with the mental health situation with reference to what's happening in St. Louis City and County with African Americans. There are some charts, and one in particular that just popped out to me was with reference to, compared to male and females, the population. And in that between babies, the birth, then it jumps over till about, I would say, into 20-year-olds on up. That in between there, the youth part scares me.
It should. I mean,
It's like,
it should.
what's going on with
Yeah.
our babies? What do we need to do to save our children?
We're having a really hard time in St. Louis being number one in some categories that we don't want to be number one in.
Exactly.
Number one in 1 and 2 in STDs and chlamydia and gonorrhea.
Still,
You know,
I thought that was changing.
No, still,
not.
it's getting better. But even with it getting better, we still rank amongst the top 5 in all those categories, and STDs, and we talk about violence. St. Louis is looking like one of the top 5
still
cities
in
for
homicides,
violence
cartel.
across the United States right now. So kids are in this environment. It's a really tough environment, and they are obviously, becoming part of those, those ills that we have going on in our
Sure.
society. So we are taking our programs and looking at a holistic approach. How does all of these programs touch all these things that we deal with in St. Louis?
Exactly.
So teen pregnancy prevention, we have to talk about violence. You have to talk about drugs and alcohol. You have to talk about, all these things that lead to, us making some decisions, with
Sure.
having sex promiscuously
Exactly.
and other things. In the arts, we have to channel all those things back to making those kids holistic. The stats don't look good, but do we see a difference? Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
We are seeing a
okay.
difference because we're giving kids something to do. We're teaching them, Vivian has been working a lot with them, not just on dance, but poetry, getting to express themselves, their youth voice, and they're finding their voice. I was recently in Washington, D.C. speaking on racial justice, and I'm so proud of what the kids in St. Louis are doing. They are taking a stand. They're the ones that are, getting in their schools and trying to make a difference. And I predict the next Obamas and the next, they're coming from
You
St.
don't
Louis.
speak it into them.
They're coming from St. Louis.
That's right. They're
That's
coming from
right.
St. Louis, and you have to speak it into our babies to make sure that they
Yes.
understand this is who you are. I mean, I speak that into my children all the time, my grandchildren especially now. I mean, my granddaughter's like, she knows you're going to be a doctor. That's it. Period.
Well,
That's
we
where
teach
you're
them to
going
make
with it.
better choices, Robin.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
Because if they make that one choice that leads them down the wrong path, then they have to recover. Then they've got to come all the way back. So everything that we offer them offers them choice.
Yes.
To make sure they have the information and the knowledge to make that choice.
And it basically, is that what it has boiled down to with our babies? They haven't had any choices, or they haven't had the correct choices. Let me ask this. Has social media really, because I hear this a lot.
That's a whole nother
from
segment.
counselors who work with our young people at the schools. I know the superintendent of the school of the St. Louis City School District, Kelvin Adams, has said, "Lord, if he can get rid of Facebook,
Oh my gosh.
he would solve a lot of issues." So, are you working with our young people and their parents as well, and helping them understand how to use it properly?
Yeah, I have an 11-year-old and was so surprised to see how how much they're used. They have sites that I don't even know about
Yeah.
that they're on with their families and their the other kids, and it's scary the stuff
Yeah.
that you see on there, and they get instant information, and you have to have constant communication with your kids about media messages, social media. We talk about lyrics that we hear in songs on
Right.
the radio. My kid can discern very quickly that's not a good song. We may need to change the channel.
Very
You
good.
know,
So you're
we need
teaching your
change the
child to
channel.
discern that. Great.
Yes.
A parent, I have parent meetings also. A parent the other evening, says Monday evening, we asked them, what would you like us to do with your children? She said, could you please do a course on internet safety and security for my 11-year-old? And she requested that because they understand also how important that is.
And we're looking at
They wanna know.
boot camp.
That's a parent request.
We want to do a parent boot camp, going into,
like this.
our rally. We're doing a big rally, and we're talking
Now,
about that.
tell me about the rally.
Teen
April 1st.
Pregnancy Prevention
When it's called
Rally.
This Ain't No
Yes,
Joke.
this ain't no joke. See,
We even got it.
I'm done.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay. Because I tried not to dance today. Okay, we're getting live here, Robin.
But we are at war.
know, I love your energy.
We've been at war for the last year. War
Yes.
means willing, able, and ready to combat all these things that are happening in our community. So it's on April Fool's Day, but this ain't no joke. So we are being very serious
1,200
about
youth.
what's happening. Actually,
This
we're
is gonna
looking
be
at
a Shape It
2,000 youth.
Oh,
Shape
wow.
It Arena. We have step teams. We have bands. We're coming in. So this whole
Awesome.
theme of war, we're taking it to the parents because they're our first line of defense. We're looking at a parent boot camp, teaching them internet safety, gang recognition, all those things that parents need to know to be able to take care of their kids. We're working on that right now.
That is awesome. So we've got all these great activities. Is there any excuse for someone not to say, I need to sign my child up for this program?
Only if they didn't know about it. But now that they know about it, because they always said there's a well-kept secret in St. Louis. We are what do we call it? The urban oasis.
Urban oasis.
The
We're
urban
an
oasis in what they call North St. Louis. Actually, it's in the West End, but
well,
no,
that's
I
another
have to
segment.
I have to do that because that's just what we need to do with reference to taking ownership of our own communities and
Yes.
letting people know where it is exactly we are. But ladies, I want to thank you so much for coming on. You got some wonderful programs set up. People can reach you. We've got everything on the full screen so where folks can reach you at Better Family Life. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Miss Miranda, for
Thank
coming
you
on.
for having us.
Thank you
Oh,
so
Robin,
much,
I'm
Miss Vivian.
so excited to see you
It's
again.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you so much, and we will be right back with new media coming to the St. Louis area.
Dude, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Thank you for calling your GED Pep Talk Center. All right, now, are you ready for your GED Pep Talk?
Being nervous is okay. It just shows that you're serious about getting your diploma.
A lot of things are scary. Heck, I'm scared of clowns.
No quiero oír. No lo puedo hacer.
DMC, life in your pep talk style.
Just keeping it real, Debs. Just keeping it real.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Crack don't allow. Found their way out of
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Hi, I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner. Thanks for coming on back. In the studios with me, we're going to be talking a little bit about new media that has come to the St. Louis area, and I'm sure you're going to be tuning in and you're going to be checking out and getting on the internet and finding out what this is all about after we're done with this program. But with me in the studios right now are Mr. Carlos Mayfield, who is general manager, and I think I just titled him up some more and gave him an operations manager for KTGP. Praise 99.5 FM. Wow, I'm so happy. We have a gospel station in St. Louis. And also with us is Mr. Maurice Hamilton, owner, publisher of Incite to Incite magazine. Maurice!
How you doing, RB?
My friend!
Good to see you.
Oh my God, Maurice and I go back to Radio 1.
Wow.
Here in St. Louis, Missouri, and Maurice, talented salesperson. I think you're just sharp young man who has done a great job and really in radio. You got in there and you took it. But before that, you were doing a magazine that I was checking out when I came home about 10 years ago. What was it, Flip Side?
It was Flip Side.
And that was great. That was great.
It was fun. It was a group of us. We got together as friends, and we wanted to do something different with media. So what we said was, let's do everything opposite, and we called it Flip Side. And it was entertainment based, and it just took off.
It
just took off, and it kind of lit the fire for where I am now.
Okay, yeah, because I know when I first met you at the radio station, you were saying, and I said, aren't you the young man that started, and you said, yeah, I did, So, and we'll get back a little bit more your other background too, because I know your mom, I used to tease you, exactly where you graduated from, and I'm like, let this baby, okay, but that's okay. Maurice, you're a sharp salesperson. Carlos. Go back many years in the radio business. How are you?
I'm back.
I see. And
It's
also
fun.
pastor.
Yeah, at
Mayfield.
pastor, absolutely.
What is the
by
name of your
grace God.
church?
It's the Worship Center Christian Church.
And it's located where?
We're in Bridgeton. We're in Bridgeton, Missouri. We're a multicultural church, and where Jesus is Lord.
I got to come out and visit.
You have to.
When are your services? What time?
10:30 on Sunday.
Excellent.
That's our first service, and soon to have a second service.
Non-denominational or?
Non-denominational.
Okay, excellent. I see a lot more churches expanding into non-denominational rather than being a specific religion. That's happening a lot more lately.
Yeah, I believe God is calling us in this season to be more relational than religious.
Excellent. And God has called you into a radio station situation.
Yeah.
That being your background.
Yeah.
And I met the owner, Mr. Terrell.
Terrell Lewis. Terrell Lewis is owner.
For 99.5 FM. This is a new gospel FM station. This is just unbelievable.
It's real unique, Robin, in the fact that, first of all, it's history. We've never had an FM gospel station, if you will, in St. Louis. No. And what makes us a little different is that we believe that we're probably the best blend of gospel and contemporary Christian music in FM. So it's fun, it's very unique. You hear everything from Kurt Franklin to
I was blown away.
Donnie McClurkin to
Vicky
Yolanda.
Yowie. I was like, wow. Okay, Hillsong. I'm like,
Hillsong,
wow.
exactly. So you'll get a splash of Hillsong, Chris Tomlin, Mandisa, Martha Manuzzi.
Yes.
So it's really kind of a good blend of inspiration in the gospel and contemporary world.
That's going to really make a big difference here in the St. Louis area, and I'm sure that you're going to go after everybody.
It has.
With the radio station. You getting a good response so far?
A tremendous response.
You've been on probably since the top of January.
Yeah. We've been testing our signal. We had our official launch last week of the station.
Okay.
And the response has been overwhelming.
Awesome.
I mean, we've had over 1,000 likes on Facebook.
Excellent.
You can stream us on our website, obviously. We've got some new things that we're going to be doing. We just had Jay Moss in town.
How was that concert?
It was awesome. Awesome. Good. He is phenomenal.
Yes,
it was really good bookend for the station for our launch week. So
that was excellent for what you all were doing.
We're excited. The response has been overwhelming. We believe that God has really called us for such a time as this. Looking in our community, how unfortunately Sundays are very segregated, and it has bled over into our community at large. And we believe that God has told us at Praise 99.5 is to bring the communities together, faith through song. And that's where the whole thought of being gospel and contemporary Christian music comes together.
Now, I found out a lot about your radio station by checking out Incite to Incite.
Awesome.
I was doing some research on something else. Yes, definitely. And I kept looking, I said, is this Maurice's magazine? And I just gave you a call and you said, RB, what's going on? I said, well, you are doing it again. Tell me about Incite. What's the inspiration, Incite to Incite?
Incite is inform, inspire, implement. We want to inform people on a level where we can inspire them to implement or incite positive change in their lives, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally, socially, politically. As Carlos mentioned, it's time. It's time that we take a new approach to media and do this thing right. You know, it's time to make reading more fun. It's time to make it, since everybody is technology driven, let's pull out your phones.
Now, you have made it a lot more fun. I have one here with me in the studio that you brought me. I thought it was really unique. It's like 4 pages. You have a trifold that lays out, but you have these different codes. I don't know if the cameras can see them. You have these codes, and I know Jay's screaming at me. I know, I'm sorry, Jay, but I just want to see it. But you have these codes where people can put their cell phones over it.
Absolutely. It's a QR code reader, and what you do
is new.
Is you scan directly to where you want to go. So no more flipping through 56 pages trying to get to where you want to be. You take your phone or your tablet and you download free from your app store. You download a QR reader, run it over the code, scans you directly to where you want to go.
So it just pops you right on your phone to what you want to read about. I thought it was so neat I'm like, this is really different. So you're going to be popping these into barbershops and beauty shops all over the place. And this is a freebie that people can pick up?
Yes, it's a freebie that you pick up. And our whole point is to get you excited about reading. Get you and take you directly where you want to go with this QR code. Advertisers would love this thing because it's taking you directly into their world. Same with praise, takes you directly into the world of praise and gives you the message that Carlos wants to put out with the station. So it's fun. It's been fun.
I can imagine it's been fun. I mean, like I said, when I was looking at Incite to Incite, I knew I was researching something about a politician and popped up on Google, Incite to Incite, next to this politician's name. And then I went directly, just started reading. I saw prayer. I'm like, whoa, we have a gospel FM. It's phenomenal what's happening here. It's kind of like a new awakening that's happening here in St. Louis.
It is. And we're excited to be a part of it and help lead it. A large part of our approach to the radio is to have a voice in the community.
Absolutely.
You know, big radio has eliminated that voice. And we believe that's part of our motto, your voice, your victory. We believe as a locally independent owned station, we can give that voice back to the community. So you'll hear everything from community forum shows on the weekend.
So you have talk shows.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've got a phenomenal show. It's Under the Arch with James Clark on Saturday mornings.
One of my children, my babies.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And James is going to talk about
world.
news and views and different things that are affecting our community. Then we've got a neat program with a gentleman by the name of Domingo Loggins who's doing a show called Real Talk, dealing with real issues that affect the church with our youth today.
Now that's interesting.
So it's awesome. But the one other thing that we're going to do is so fun and so unique is that we know that there are great roots and heritage to jazz in St. Louis.
Yes.
So on Sundays from 12 to 4, we're going to do something called Smooth Praise.
Wow.
And it'll be all gospel jazz.
That's
and
awesome.
And there's a catalog with Santana and Kurt Whalum. It's a lot of artists that you'll love.
They're going to want to hear. So you've gotten this great response from the audience out in the St. Louis area. Because right now I know you guys are still tweaking the signal.
Yes.
Trying to get in. You're kind of in an area where you're close to some other Christian stations, but you're still blending out and you're getting out there to people. People are tuning into you.
Just got a call the other day. We had a prize winner who won in Wentzville.
Wow.
So, and we've got a call from someone in Alton. So we're doing what we want to do. We're having fun.
The reach is happening.
It's happening. It's happening.
This is wonderful. The response to Incite
has been great. We're looking to expand out west as well into O'Fallon, Wentzville, St. Charles, St. Peter's. And we also print and distribute in Indianapolis as well. So we're growing.
Okay, so you're taking a magazine, you're taking a radio station, you're reaching out to the people. What makes what you all are doing different from what other mainstream media are doing right now? What's going to make you different? Because we've got a lot out here. We've got satellite, we've got the internet, we've got cable, you know, we've got all these different kinds of mediums to get information out. What's going to make what you guys do differently? I mean, you got analog radio, which is what Praise is basically, but on the low power end of it. But what's going to make you guys different?
Well, we believe our personalities. What we want to do throughout our day parts is localize it again. You know, we've got Trish Gregory in the morning. We've got Kevin Pulley, Kevy Kev, who's doing our middays. Absolutely. Then we've got Raina Reynolds in the afternoon, and a fine young man who's very talented named Point Five, who does our evenings. And then throughout, gentleman Jim Gates is on our airways. So what we've done, exactly, a Hall of Fame broadcaster's back.
Great voice.
You know?
Yeah.
And so we've really taken the charge or the lead to get radio back into the community again and not make it a jukebox. And we believe that's a huge differentiator for us.
Now, do you think there's a big difference also that this is on a local ownership where somebody cares and wants to see something different? It's not a big corporation kind of a situation?
Absolutely. Decisions are made in our building on the same floor.
Which makes a big difference,
It's a big difference. Big difference.
You don't have to worry about corporate somebody saying,
Right.
hey, no, we're going to change this. Or like, for example, what happened to me quickly once I was moved from Los Angeles to Dallas to set up a station, and then boom, oh, we're going Spanish.
Right.
What's going to make Incite to Incite different?
Well, the good thing about Incite to Incite is it's a complement to exactly what Carlos is talking about. It's partnership. One of the things that I learned in media, that there's not enough partnership in relationships as it relates to combining our resources. And so what we look to do in that situation is just combine our resources, help power and move, if you will, somebody that has that tremendous amount of reach, and then focus it towards reading and getting information, promoting what they're doing on the station, as well as what we're wanting to do in the community with small businesses and stuff like that.
I want to thank you both so much for coming on. We've got to come back and talk some more,
having
bringing
us.
some of the
Thank
guests
you.
that you have in
Absolutely.
your
Thank
magazine
you.
and on
Thank
your
you.
radio station to talk. And
Absolutely.
I want to thank you, St. Louis, for tuning in to City Corner. See you next time.